Hello, let's talk about the ones, and I'm going to try to keep this very short. So, for that reason, let's ignore the lexicon and the codex of deep secrets. Those ones are not of my interest. You may use the codex for PvE, but for me, all the other ones are just better, and these two are not worth mentioning anymore. So the next tier is the Overture and Kansa. Between these two, I prefer Kansa. Why? Because I use Invincible Wall. I don't use Clay Salvation. I don't have a slot for it. Not even in my healer skill bar. And that's it. That's the only reason. Because I use Invincible Wall. But if you look at the stats, you can see why it is also better stats wise. The base damage is a very significant difference. Why? Because Overture is like a mid-tier weapon, and Kansa is the higher tier or the higher regular tier before diving into world boss or arch boss. Is similar to Berkan daggers or Berkan crossbow. So that's why it has a lot more base damage. But if we compare the stats, we can see that they are more or less pretty similar. One provides 21 stats point, the other 20. And the last one is very good in both cases. Kansa uses this mana cost efficiency, which is very much needed as Fury. And Overture uses Weaken Chance, which is also very good as Fury. Especially now that everyone is building Weaken Resistance. So, the only reason I could consider Overture over Kansa, according to my opinion and my playstyle and my skills, is if I was short in Weaken Chance and I cannot boost that in any other ways, either because I'm using the yellow runes for something else or because I'm using different gear equipment and I can get to a decent number of Weaken Chance. We need minimum probably like 1200, but I prefer to have over 1400 Weaken Chance because everyone is stacking Weaken Resist as crazy. The next tier is the World Boss and Arch Boss. I have Tevent, but if I had Deckman, I will probably use Deckman. And I'll tell you why. Let me find a Deckman here. When we compare both of them, we can clearly see that stats-wise, Deckman is better. It provides more wisdom, it provides dexterity, it doesn't have critical, which in my opinion is not needed if you are focusing on curses, and it provides a little more cooldown speed. By contrast, Tevent has higher base damage and Tevent has the Tevent curse, the famous Tevent curse. It's true. I mean, with Tevent, you are going to deal the most damage with a curse explosion, but it doesn't mean that the Deckman explosion falls short. The other good thing about Tevent is the traits. 14 cooldown speed is a lot. I mean, this combination is a lot. When you remove Tevent, you can quickly notice the difference. By contrast, Deckman doesn't have cooldown speed, but it has weaken chance, so it's also good, and mana cost efficiency is also good. But probably when I get Deckman, I will use heavy hit and weaken chance. But Deckman has more hidden things, and it's the skill. The skill is very good. For a starter, it boosts Ray of Disaster damage. Then it inflicts Corrupted Magic Cycle, and this is the trick. And then it increases the specialization to 4 targets. So, what's this all about? Well, the specialization is this one, and it will increase it from 2 to 4. That means we are hitting 5 targets. The damage is a general boost, it's nothing related to neither of this specialization. It's just a 25% increase of the damage. And then we have the Corrupted Magic Cycle. Corrupted Magic Cycle, as many other skills, change to a different skill when you spec some of the spec, when you use some of the specs. In this case, when you use Decaying Touch, this is a different skill. This is Decaying Touch now. This is no longer Corrupted Magic Cycle. So, by using Decaying Touch and using Deckman and using the Ray, you will apply both. You apply Decaying Touch and you apply Corrupted Magic Cycle. So, with Tevent we have Touch of Despair, Corrupted Magic Cycle or Decaying Touch, and the Tevent's Curse, and then we have, for example, Flame Shot, or if you are playing Dark Blader you have Poison. And with Deckman we have Touch of Despair, we have Corrupted Magic Cycle, we have Decaying Touch, and we have Flame Shot or Poison. When we compare the damage overall, if you run the numbers, basically this 65% of base damage plus 73 for 9 seconds just fall a little short to this 35% of base damage for 30 seconds. I'm not even taking into account here the 50% chance, because Tevent is always on. I mean, for me this 15% is wrong. It's nearly always active, so I don't care about that 15%. So just comparing these numbers, you will notice that Deckman is just maybe was 1,000 less damage overall, which means that instead of exploding someone for 40k, you are exploding for 39. That's irrelevant at that point. So for me, Deckman is better overall because, as I said, the damage is pretty similar. It provides more stats, and as I said, the skill also gives us more benefits. It boosts the rate damage and it increases the number of targets. So when we play as the buffers, we are now hitting 5 people because it's your main target and 4 more, and you are slowing them and you can apply more other curses. That's it. I mean, the day I get Deckman, I'm going to use Deckman for sure. I will even like to check how does the damage compare when you also add the detonation mark in the mix, because with Deckman Probably when you are using Tevent, you are not using the ray. With Deckman, you are using the ray with increased damage. So it's more damage that you are going to add into the mark before it blow up. So I don't know, maybe Deckman even provides more damage at the end of the day. It's something I will try when I get it. And finally we have Cordy. Cordy is also good if you focus on a defensive playstyle. I mean, I will not replace Deckman with a Cordy, for example, but if I'm playing more defensive or I'm playing as a second healer, I will use Cordy because the benefit of this skill is huge. The 2 seconds immunity is just pretty much up. So that's it. Those are my choices. For me, is offensive playstyle will be Deckman, defensive playstyle will be Cordy. If not Deckman, I will use Tevent, but it doesn't make any sense to not have Deckman and have Tevent. I mean, if you are buying, because Deckman right now is, well, 7.5 and Tevent 20k per 29. It's a no-brainer. I will pick Deckman every day. And if we stay to the affordable tier, that is either Overture or Kansa, I will pick Kansa over Overture because in my case this is my healer skill bar. I use shield. I don't have room for clay here. Everything is needed for me because although I'm a healer, I'm using mana burn, so I need the 3. I need a cures to have quicker skills with self-select diffusion, so everything is needed. And all my other bars, well, this is now modified because I was training stuff, but this usually doesn't have the mark here, but the shield. This one is my main PvP bar. It also has the shield. I don't have clay, so all my bars are usually using the shield. So that's why I will pick Kansa over Overture. But if you are using clay salvation, or you are a pure healer, you are not watching this video because you are a fury but you are a seeker, I will use Overture maybe. So that's it. Thanks for watching. It was a little longer than I expected, but I hope that you enjoyed the video. Bye.